Hello and welcome back to Stackhouse Knives. Thank you very much for watching this week's video. In a previous video I forged a slot punch, which is a really useful tool for blacksmithing, and I've made a previous video on that. If you haven't seen the video, please click here and that'll link you to the first video. The punch is a very versatile tool if you're doing it for knife making or blacksmithing, and this is also the first tool that we were doing for our Blacksmith starter kit as a video resource. The second tool we're going to be making today is a very similar tool, a little bit bigger, a bit more chunky. So what is this tool used for? It's essentially a hole punch. So the idea is that it's a flat punch designed to punch into whatever the material is that you're punching. This is most commonly used for making the tong or the rivet hole for the tongs that you make. And the tongs video will be later on, so no spoilers there. The idea is that this will make the hole in the material for you so that it can accommodate a rivet, and that means that when you've got the tongs, I'll go get the tongs now. I'll be right back. So these are the tongs here. You've got these tongs that have a pivot. So the hole punch itself would be designed to making the hole in each part of these tongs to make them pivot and have that scissor action to them. So this week we're going to be making this guy. I'm going to be making it from a really large piece of train spring. Because the stock itself is a lot thicker in diameter, it's about 18 millimeters in diameter. We need some thicker stock. The stock that we used for this punch was a lot smaller, so we're going to need a lot more material, and I've got the spring steel to do so. This is the spring we're going to be using. So it's a really wonderful thickness, and it's pretty tall. That's the size of me there. So we're going to be using this. This is from a old-fashioned train when springs were good steel. This is really heavy, and I'm going to be cutting off probably half of a coil to go towards this tool. I'm also going to be, so put this down. So I'm going to be working with the power hammer just behind me, and we're going to be forging all of the large sections of the steel to the rough shape, and then I'm going to take to a hand hammer and start forging it by hand. This is just so you get the best of both worlds. If you have the tools to move metal, use them. If you have a hammer or a sledgehammer or someone else to help sledgehammer for you to do this kind of work as well, ask them to do so. Get them a bottle of something after. You just need an extra hand to get these large section steels forged out. So hand hammer, power hammer, let's get into it. So I've run out of lighter fluid, but I've got one of these guys for emergencies. It should look good in slow motion. So now what to do is to, again, that's the tool, I've let it cool down. It looks really nice and I'm really happy with the finish. I need to get rid of the cupping that's formed, if you can see that. Again, the end of the tool, that needs to be cut off. The best way for me to do that is to cut off with an angle grinder, with a cutting disc, and that'll keep everything nice and tidy, because I want that tool to be nice and flat, so that when we go to punch that tool, it's going to put a little circular indentation into the metal. And also the back of the tool is on a bit of an angle, so I want to cut that flat as well. So once I've cut both of these guys down nice and square and flat, I'm just going to take to a little bit of tidy up with the belt grinders in the grinding room next door, and that's going to be the tool. Hopefully we're going to heat a piece of steel up and see how it works. So the punch was a success. It's punching holes quite well. In this piece of steel, it made quite a nice tidy hole. So I'm pretty pleased with that, and it means the punch did the job. So that finalizes our second tool for the blacksmithing courses. We'll be releasing very soon. Haven't got dates and our process is quite done yet, but very soon we'll have them out, and you guys can start making your own tools like this one. And as always, smash that like button with a giant hammer, and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, this is the first video that you've seen, go check out our other videos and watch a few of those as well. But that's all for this week. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. You have a wonderful day.